I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Dr. King's inspiring words on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial helped stoke the fires of the promise of equality for all. The movement for equality in public education had already begun in the 1954 Supreme Court case Brown v. Board of Ed. The court ruled segregated schools unconstitutional and ordered all public schools to desegregate. Unfortunately, this landmark case did not cure inequality in public education. In fact, in some areas of the country, desegregation of public schools was the catalyst for white flight, or the large-scale migration of whites from mixed urban areas to more homogeneous suburbs. Almost 60 years later, public schools, especially in the North, are as segregated as ever. Today, urban schools with the highest poverty rates suffer by comparison to suburban schools in terms of retention of talented teachers and lack of resources compared to their suburban counterparts. This inequality has led to higher dropout rates and lower standardized test scores in lower income areas of the country. The idea of how to reform public education has become political. Politicians on both sides of the spectrum advocate for some form of the corporate model for schooling, much to the chagrin of education professionals and public school advocates. Some ideas for privatization include charter schools, voucher programs, or tax credit scholarships for private schooling. However, most professionals in public school education are more in favor of a grassroots approach versus a commercial fix.
Okay, so this is a book I'm reading right now. Test and Punish: How the Texas Education Model Gave America Accountability Without Equity. It has a lot to do with the current emphasis on corporate, Bill Gates, the rest of the big money corporate world telling schools how they ought to be. And I think my greatest hope is that we can stop talking about a business model of accountability and start talking about a rescue model of that sounds too patronizing, but where kids who are poor see schools as the place they go for hope, for opportunity, for many things, not to be told that they're stupid or that they can't do what other kids can do or whatever it is. So that would be my hope.
I hope that it stops being so political and stops being so capitalistic. It's not about money, it's not about who's right, it's not about who can sell the most textbooks or get the most kids to pass a standardized test. It really does need to go back to what education is, and that's learning. We need to focus more on kids. We've gotten so far away from what's important, with all this No Child Left Behind and Common Core and all these debates about creationism and evolutionism. We just need to get back to taking care of our children.
My hope, as we work to reform public education in America, we challenge ourselves to change the traditional hierarchy of desirable schools by deliberately making the highest poverty, lowest performing schools the most coveted places to work. I believe reforming education with equality in mind for all children is paramount to any meaningful change in education.